Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ and welcome to Hashima Island, the new Japanese map that was released a few days ago. So in this video we're going to be installing Hashima on our local PC server to start off with, and then we're going to be installing on a remote community server. However, there are a few PSAs I need to talk about before we get started, and the fact is that this is a very early mod, and there's definitely some challenges that you will come across being part of, I guess, the development of this mod when you join so early on a map mod. And mainly the fact that you're going to have lots of crashes happening and lots of incompatibilities. So what I've found so far, and I'm recording this video on the 16th of February 2025, is I couldn't get anything that used the CF Community Framework mod to work. So I couldn't use ZOmberry and I couldn't use vanilla plus admin. That's why we're running along and I'm not flying around in FreeCam mode. Also, I had a bit of trouble with getting custom loadouts to work as well. Now that might be just me and I'm a little bit rusty, but it could be something about the way the game deals with CFG gameplays as well. So what I would probably say is that if you're not happy maybe with dealing with something that's going to be a bit crash happy for a while, then maybe leave this one for a while. Let it bake a little bit and then come back to it when you can run your admin tools and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, from what I've seen so far, it looks nice. Zombies are spawning in and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to exit out of here so that I have access to kind of DayZ as we're going along. So where things start, as always, is over on the Steam Workshop. And I'll put links to all of this in the description below this video. And I will also put a link in the description below this video on how to install a local DayZ server. So if you're not running a local DayZ server on your PC, if you've got a PC that's capable of doing it, I highly recommend you do. Because what you then do, as you'll see here, is you install mods, whether that be map mods or even small mods, on the local server, so you can jump into it locally on your PC, which is very quick and very easy and very fast. And when you know you've got things working, then you can then put them on your remote server, your remote community server up in the cloud. And generally, it's easy for me to say, if you get something working on your local server, it will work on your remote server, because it can be quite difficult to fault find on a remote server, and it just takes time. So we've got Hashima Island, so you'll want to subscribe to that, and you'll want to subscribe to the Hashima Island Assets Pack. And also there's another map as well, called another dependency called the Babushka as well, spawner, which I seemed to spawner Bubaku, which I'll put in as well. So let's find that. Steam spawner Bubaku workshop. There we go. I understand that maybe this is the mod that's causing a few problems, maybe, but I'm not quite sure. I tried loading in the map without this mod and I was still having the crash problems. Now what we also need as well is you need to have a look through and just read the information below the mod, and then go over to the GitHub with the mission files in, and again have a really good read of everything, because by the time you watch this thing, things might have changed. Also, I'll put links to the website, and you can see you've got a map there, and there's also a Discord. Very important, the Discord. This way, if you're involved in the development of this map, you know, you're installing it and you're running it and you come across different problems, you can always post them here and be part of the development of the map. And also, if you've got a problem, you can search the Discord for it here, or make a post about it, or about a ticket about it, and you may well find that other people are having the same problem. So it's not what you're doing, it's just that the mod's still in an early stage. So what we're going to do is, once you've subscribed to all of those, fire up the DayZ launcher and it will download the mods automatically. And then what you want to do is, over on the Discord, you want to download zip and download all of the files to your local PC. And I would say put them in a folder. So I've got them in Hashima Islands here. So it'll download that, and then you can extract it, and then you've got the missions there. Now, the most common problem, or the most common mistake I think people are probably making at the moment, is adding in more mods before they get the server running just using the base mods, and also not installing the extra area flags.map as well. So if you click on that, you'll then download the area flags map, and you want to copy that and put it in the put it in the folder as well where you've got Hashima Island. So you've got the area flags.map. Maybe by the time you come to install your version of this, that the area flags.map will be included where it should be, which is in main.hashima. Now, as far as I can tell, when you go into main.hashima, this has all of the central economy files that you'll need, apart from the area flags.map. And then all these bits are just separate for you to load in and do various things with. That's what I can see, but things may well change. Right, okay, so we've got all that downloaded. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go over to our DayZ server. As you can see, I've got here and set that up with an open folder. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to go to the DayZ workshop. So you want to go to, here we go, common, where are we? DayZ, and there's workshop. So on your computer it could well be C, program files, x86 theme, Steam apps, common, DayZ workshop, exclamation point workshop, or if you're not quite sure where it is, if you go to mods on the launcher, click on one of the arrows, click on the three little dots, open folder in Windows Explorer, and that will take you there. And then you want to copy the mods to your local server. So you want to find Hashima, so you want to copy those, and then you'll want the spawner Babuku. So you'll right click, you'll copy those, and then you'll go to your server, and then you'll right click and you'll paste those, and they'll come across. And then the next thing you need to do is go into Hashima Islands, and you want to go into the keys folder, copy the key, come out of that, go into the keys folder for the server and paste it in there. You don't have to do the Hashima extras because it's the same one. Then you want to go into the spawner Babuku, go into keys and copy that, and then paste that into the keys folder for your server. Although if you've used any of Hunter's mods, you've probably got that one as well. So we've got that in there as well. Next, we really want the mission files as well. So if you open up the missions and then go back to your folder with the Hashima Islands in, we want main.hashima. So you would copy that, go to the MP missions in your server, right click, paste that, and you can see that's there. But as we already know, we've got the area flags maps wrong. So what we need to then do is then go to the area flags.map, copy that file, go back to our server, and then right click, paste, and so we paste that new area flags.map there. So at this point we've got the files in the right place, but we need to make sure the server is going to start with the right things on. So you may well remember this, but what we need to edit is we need to edit the server dz.config file so that it will fire up and look at the right mission, and we need to edit our .windows batch file so that the server will fire up with the right mods. So the first thing to do would be to open up your server dz.config, and then you'll want to save it as something like server dz hash.config like I have here. And then you scroll down to the bottom, and where it says template equals, your one will say whichever mission you're running at the moment, whichever map you're running at the moment. So maybe it'll be offline.chernrus. And we need to put main.hashima. So again, what you can do is you go to your Hashima folder, and you could just left click that once, left click it again, copy that, go back to here and put template equals main.hashima. And then you want to save that. So what that's basically going to do is going to fire up when the server fires up, it's going to fire up with the right map. The other thing you might want to do is change the server time as well. So change it to something during the day. So this one's set up for 2011, November 2011, 9:40, the 1st of November, 9:49 in the morning. And the reason for that is because we're not going to be able to use an admin. I tried to also put in a custom loadout so that when I spawned in, my character would have guns, but as I said, I couldn't get that to work, and that might have been me, or it could be something that's going wrong with the mod. When mods are in this early stage like this, I find you can't get too bothered when things don't work, because you might end up chasing your tail trying to get something to work that can't work. So sometimes you need to take a step back and say, well, I've got this working, that will do for now. So we save our server DayZ hash.config file, so that's good. But now we need to make sure that the local server will start with the right files. And this is controlled by our windows.bat file. So what you want to do is open up whichever one you normally have to run it. And then you want to save that as something like, mine sort of say start. Now normally with ZOmberry, and then I've put hash for the map and v++.bat. However, this doesn't seem to be working with Community Framework or ZOmberry Admin plus Admin ++ tools. Sorry, ZOmberry Admin or V++ tools. So in the mods section, you just want to have the basic mods. So you can have at Hashima Islands, semicolon, at Hashima Islands, at Hashima Islands, asset, and spawner Bubaku. Again, if you're not sure about the spelling, as I never am, go back to your server, just scroll up, and you can just find where they are. DayZ Hashima Island, just left click again, and then you just copy that, so you can copy each one. The other thing we need to make sure we change is the server config launch as well. So set server config, and we change this to our new one that has got the reference to the Hashima map launcher. So we change it from server dz.config to, in my case, server dz hash.config. So that is referring to that file. Make sure everything's okay, make sure you're careful with the spelling, and we can save that. And then basically, if I haven't missed anything out, we're good to... Actually, sorry, there is one other thing you've got to do as well. If we go into the mission main as well, where we saved our Hashima Islands thing, we'll see that there is a profile section as well, with a little section for the spawner Bubaku. Now, what I understand that this mod does, let's have a quick look, is that it triggers the spawning of zombies in places where the normal DayZ can't actually do it. So it enables you to have zombies underground and in different places like that. So that's kind of what it does. But what we need to do is we need to put that config file into our server. Now, the thing about the config file, or the settings, or the profile, is that that folder can have lots of different names. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this whole folder with spawner Bubaku, and then we're going to go to our server. Now, on my server, my local server, it's called config, but it might be called settings on your server. It might be called profiles. It can be called anything you want. What it's called is set in your Windows batch file. But when you go into it, it will generally have the names of all of the different mods you're using, but without the @ and this is the place where these mods keep their individual settings. So we will paste that, and as you can see, we've got the spawner Bubaku JSON is kind of just there. So we're kind of good to go now. So what we should be able to do now is go back to our server DayZ, our server.batch file, find where it is, double click on it, it will fire up. Now, it is a bit crash happy at the moment, so you might find the first time it doesn't work. But don't worry, fire it up again. And as I say, don't be tempted to load up lots of different mods at the moment. Just do it with the basic ones and make sure that works. So if we go to servers now, if we go to LAN, refresh that, there we go. So we've got 3 servers. Let's join that, set them up. The other thing you tend to find with these new mods and these new map mods is change happens really quickly, because a modder tends to go to us from a situation where there's not that many people testing the mod to a situation where loads are, because it's been released publicly. And so there's all this feedback coming in, and then the devs can really concentrate on the bits to get the mod working. If during the course of the lifetime of this video you come across different tutorial videos that explain things a little bit better because things have been modernized, by all means put the links in the description below the video, or you can always let me know, scalespeed@gmail.com, and I can put links in the description as well, because these things do change. So there we go. So we're back on the server. We've got our stuff and we're good to go. It's quite a cool t-shirt, isn't it? What we got there? There's loads of really nice assets on this. Okay, so let's exit out of that. So now we've had a go of installing it on our local server. We're kind of ready, and we know it worked. That's the most important thing. Now we're ready to give it a go on our remote server. So this is where things get a little bit more complicated, but if you're familiar with what you're doing, you kind of should be all right. Now I'm using a Nitrado server as the example in this particular one, and it's just set up with expert settings. Now what you'll find, it's probably best to use an FTP program to upload all the files. And if you've already been using PC servers, you'll be familiar with these, because you can't use the browser, the server browser on the on Google Chrome to upload big files. So what you can see here is that I've actually connected to my server. So on the right hand side, this is my server, DayZ standalone. These are all the mods. So we need to get these mods uploaded, and on the left hand side, this is my local PC. So again, if you're not sure where stuff is, what you can always do is, if you go to, for example, DayZ server, and you left click up the top, that gives you the address where these bits are. So you can just copy that, go to your FTP program, paste that on top, and that will take you to where it is. So what we want to do to start off with is we want to go into the workshop, and we want to upload Hashima Island assets, and spawner Bubaku, like that. So all we do is we find them in here, and then we come down. Where are we? Hashima Island. So we'd right click, upload, and then it's quite a big mod, so that'll take a while. Right click, upload, that would do that. And then we go down to spawner Bubaku. We upload that, and that uploads that. Then the next thing we want to do is do the keys. So once that's finished, open up the keys folder on your server like this, and then go to the individual mods here, and then just upload the keys. So you've got the Hashima Islands key, the Hashima Islands assets key is the same. Back up to the top, and then you've got the spawner Bubaku. So you go into there and you would upload Hunter's key. But again, if you've been using Hunter's mods, as I'm sure you will have, you just put that into the right place. I don't know what it is with FileZilla, but it has this thing where if you click on it, must be a setting I can change. It kind of takes you to where the mods actually are, not where the links are. So now we've got the mods in place on the server, but we haven't got the mission files, and of course we haven't told the server to start with anything as well. So probably now's probably a good time to go to server and just stop it as well, so it's not doing anything it shouldn't do. So next thing we want to do is really upload the missions. So if we scroll down and you go to the mission section on your server, let's close this off. It will probably say Cherners Plus, Enoch, and Sakal. And then what we want to do is find the missions on our local PC. So again, what you could do, go back to the window where you had your mods, and then if you left click up the top, it will give you the address where it is. We can copy that. We can go to FileZilla. We can paste that in place, press enter, and you can see here we are. So we're there. So we're in the right place. So what we can do now is if we left click on MP missions there, left click on main Hashima, and we can upload that, and that will then upload the mod to there. The mission to there. So we've got main.hashima. However, we do know that we want to upload this different area flags map, don't we? So what we can then do is go back to the kind of the root directory of where we've put the map mod, and we can see there's area flags map there. So if we just click on main Hashima there, we can right click, upload, and that will upload that file over the top of that file. So that is now in place as well there. So now we've got the mods are uploaded, the mission is now uploaded. The updated area flags.map is now uploaded. So what we need to do now is make sure the server is going to start with the correct mods. And we may even want to change the time. So if you go to your expert settings on Nitrado and make sure the server's stopped, you won't be able to save it otherwise. So stop the server and maybe change the server time. The server time will often say system time, but if you're doing something at night, it means it's going to be at night when you spawn in, and because we haven't got the admin tools at the moment, that's a bit of a pain. So I've changed it to the 6th of June in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. So when I spawn in, that would be good. So you can save that. Make sure your CFG gameplay file is activated, although as I say, I had a bit of trouble trying to get a custom loadout to work. So once we've done that, you can come down, and we need to make sure now that we've got the template changed, the mission to main.hashima, just like we did on the local server. So you can just go into here and you could left click and you could just copy that and paste that over the top of there. It's probably something like DayZ Offline.Trainers Plus, and then you'll be able to, if the server stopped, you'll then be able to save that. Then we want to go into server general settings, scroll down, and this is where we're going to be putting the mods that are going to fire it up. So at Hashima Space Island, semicolon, at Hashima Space Island assets, semicolon, at spawner Bubaku. And then finally, because I almost missed it out again, we need to make sure that we upload this alternative profile for spawner Bubaku. So we know on this server it's the config file. So if we click on the config folder, we can see the various saved ones here. And then in our file here, what we can do is we can right click on there, upload, and that will then inside the config folder upload the spawner Bubaku JSON, which has got the spawning details for, I guess it's spawning some stuff underground on the Hashima map. Okay, so there we go. So now save any changes, restart the server, and you should be good to go. Now these are very early days, and I'm going to repeat it again. If I've missed something out, I've made a mistake, I do apologise. Make sure you go and you have a thorough read of all the instructions below the mod, because things may well have changed, because things do change very, very quickly with new mods. But hopefully you'll enjoy this map, and hopefully this video has been useful. If it has, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and of course I'll see you again soon.